This is the videotape deposition of Catherine Baker in the matter of Damiano versus Sony Music Entertainment Incorporated and Bob Dylan. Counsel, please introduce yourselves and state your appearances.
Stephen Kramer on behalf of the plaintiff.
Stephen Hayes, the firm of Parcher and Hayes, for the defendants.
We're on the record. Would the court reporter please swear in the witness?
Please raise your right hand. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give and the cause now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you God.
Yes.
Ms. Baker, good morning.
Good morning.
This deposition is being taken pursuant to notice and subpoena. Did you receive a subpoena to appear here?
Yes, I did. And
what is your profession, ma'am?
I'm a writer.
And by whom are you employed currently?
Currently Spelling Entertainment.
And in what capacity, ma'am?
I'm executive story editor on the show Melrose Place.
And was there a time that you were employed or in some way affiliated with the Associated Press?
Yes.
And when was that, ma'am?
From 1981 until 1989.
Ms. Baker, during the time 1981 to 1989 that you were affiliated with the Associated Press, what was your position or profession?
Variously, I was staff writer, editor the last 3 years. I believe from 1986 to 1989 I was a television critic, but I also wrote other entertainment features.
Okay, and what is the Associated Press?
It's a cooperative of thousands of newspapers. It's a wire service.
Okay, and is it fair to say that it's stationed or represented all over the country?
Yes.
Okay. And where were you represented by?
At the time in question, the last 3 years that I was with him, I was in New York.
Okay. And in your capacity as a writer for the Associated Press, did you, from time to time, conduct interviews of various personalities and stars and celebrities and such?
Yes.
Okay. And could you give us an idea of just a few examples?
Well, as television critic, I interviewed people like David Letterman and, various television stars. Probably Dylan, who I interviewed in 1988, was probably, if anybody asked me who was the biggest star I interviewed, it was probably him.
Okay. And as you know, you're here today concerning an interview that you conducted with Mr. Dylan. You understand that? And when was that interview conducted, ma'am?
August 5th, 1988.
Okay. And in preparation for today's appearance here, did you review any notes?
Yes, I reviewed the transcript of the tape.
Okay. And does a tape recording exist?
Yes.
And let me show you a copy or a portion of a copy of the article. This is the only copy that we have. And I'll ask the court reporter to first mark it as Exhibit 1 to this deposition and to please attach it to the transcript. Would you be kind enough to look at that document, and if you can identify it, please do so, Ms. Baker?
Yeah, this is the story that I wrote that ran on the wire based on that interview.
Okay, and what is the title of this article, ma'am?
Well, in this particular newspaper, it says, Dylan survives change in times.
Okay.
Of course, the newspapers put their own headline on the story.
Sure.
I'm not sure what the headline we put on it was.
And it says, by Catherine Baker, Associated Press writer, Beverly Hills, California. Are you that Catherine Baker?
Yes.
Have you ever lied to Mr. Damiano?
Yes.
And can you list for me the times that you lied to him?
times, not many times, but on those occasions when he would ask me, could I pass on something to Mr. Dylan, I may have said to him, I'll try and pass it along, or words to that effect.
Do you recall ever giving Mr. Damiano your fax number?
Yes.
And when Mr. Dylan, how do you reach him?
I phone him.
At his home?
If he's in Los Angeles, yes. If he's on the road, I try and locate him that way.
Would you be kind enough to look at what is now Exhibit 2, Ms. Baker, and tell me if that appears to be the complete article? The complete interview that appeared?
Yes, it does.
Did you tape record this interview?
Yes.
And in preparation today, did you compare what appears in the article with the actual tape or the transcript of the tape?
With the transcript of the tape, which I previously had compared with the tape, so the transcript is accurate.
Okay. And where did this interview take place between yourself and Mr. Dillon?
It was over dinner at a restaurant called Il Cielo here in Beverly Hills.
And do you recall when it took place?
August 5th, 1988, in the evening, sometime around 7, 8 o'clock, something like that.
Thank you. And was anyone else present at the table with you?
Yes, Elliot Mintz, who was at the time Bob Dylan's publicist.
And does his voice from time to time appear on the tape?
A couple of times.
Would you describe for the jury your process then, if you had one, of how you would go about conducting an interview in connection with having a tape recording? In other words, what is the purpose of having a tape recorder there during the interview?
Well, I particularly like to rely on a tape recorder rather than taking notes because it's easier to just conduct a conversation, more casual conversation with someone. In this particular instance, I had the tape recorder on the table and even had a little mic. So he was very aware that he was being tape recorded. That way you don't have to take any notes. We were having dinner, so it just made it a little easier. And then the hard part is then having to transcribe the entire tape, which also included dinner.
And who actually physically transcribed that tape?
Elliot Mintz provided a transcriber because it is a lot of work to do it, and I needed to get the story out. AP wanted me to get the story out relatively soon because it was an exclusive interview. So I let him do that, but then I took the transcript and went through it with the tape. So that way I didn't have to do the actual typing, but I did make sure. In fact, when I went through the transcript, I noticed where I had made little corrections to make sure that the quotes in the transcript exactly matched what was on the tape.
Okay. And are you comfortable today that the transcript with your corrections is an accurate transcription of the tape?
Yes.
Would you be kind enough to look at Exhibit 1, and I'll turn it over to at least what appears to be the second page of the interview. And the right-hand half of the page, I'm going to read a couple of sentences, and after I read each one, my question will be the same, and that is, did Mr. Dylan say that?
Okay.
Understand?
Yes.
Okay. If you would look, ma'am, towards the next to last column of that page, what appears to be the third or fourth paragraph from the bottom, it says, or let's start at the top so we put it in context.
Okay.
I think that probably makes more sense. Actually, let's go to the bottom left-hand side of the page. The album, do you see where I have it? The album surprised some critics? Okay, let's pick it up there. The album, it reads, and I'm reading from the interview that appears in the Associated Press, August 1988, Exhibit 1. Quote, and these are your words, I take it, until we actually see quotes. The album surprised some critics because it is mostly covers of other composers' songs. Could you explain to the jury what the word covers means in that context?
That's when an artist records a song that was written by another songwriter.
So in this context, this referred to songs recorded by Mr. Dylan on his album, but that had been written by other composers?
Actually, I think technically covers means redoing a song that's been recorded by someone else.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that's entirely accurate. I'm sure all these songs were recorded sometime before.
Okay. But in essence, these, you were referring to songs recorded by him, but that had been composed by other people?
Right.
Okay. You then continue, quote, "There are only 2 Dylan originals, comma, plus 2 collaborations with Grateful Dead songwriter Robert Hunter, including the single, quote, Silvio, unquote." And would it be fair to state that Grateful Dead is a very famous rock and roll band?
Right.
Okay, then you continue. "Dylan said he picked the other material because he liked it. Quote, Down in the Groove, unquote, establishes Dylan as a recording artist and arranger with the strength of style to transcend the source of the material." You wrote that?
Yes.
Those words? And then you write what appears to be a quote from Mr. Dylan, and then I'll ask you if it is in fact such. Quote, "There's no rule that claims that anyone must write their own songs," unquote, he says. Miss Baker, did Mr. Dylan say those words?
Yes.
And when you use the words he says, is that Mr. Dylan says?
Yes.
You continue with quotes. Quote, "And I do, period. I write a lot of songs, period. But so what, you know, question mark? You could take another song somebody else has written and you can make it yours, period. I'm not saying I made a definitive version of anything with this last record, comma, but I like the songs, period. Every so often, you've got to sing songs that are out there, period. You just have to, comma, just to keep yourself straight, period, unquote." Did Mr. Dylan say those words?
Yes.
You then continue without quotes. "The other reason for the others is inevitable, colon. He didn't," that's D-I-D-N apostrophe T, as in did not, "he didn't have enough material of his own for an album, period, period." Did Mr. Dylan say those words?
I went back in the transcript and I was paraphrasing him, and that's not entirely accurate. He said he didn't have enough songs that he wanted to put on an album.
And you then continue, quote, "Writing is like such an isolated thing, period. You're in such an isolated frame of mind, comma, unquote." Did Mr. Dylan say that?
Yes.
You continue, quote, "You have to get into or be in that place, period." Did Mr. Dylan say that?
Yes.
Quote, "In the old days, I could get to it real quick, period." Did Mr. Dylan say that?
Yes.
Quote, "I can't, C-A-N apostrophe T as in cannot, I can't get to it like that no more, period. It's not that simple, period." Did Mr. Dylan say those words?
Yes.
You continue, ma'am. Quote, "I mean, comma, just being able to shut yourself off for long periods of time, comma, where you're so isolated no one can get to you, comma, mentally or physically, comma, you know." Did Mr. Dylan say those words?
Yes.
You continue, quote, "You need to be able to do that in order to come up with that kind of stuff, period, unquote." Did Mr. Dylan say that?
Yes.
You continue, ma'am, quote, "You're always capable of it in your youth, and especially if you're an unknown and nobody cares, dash, like if you're an anonymous person, period, unquote." Did he say those words?
Yes.
He being Mr. Dylan?
Right.
You continue, quote, "But once that all ends, comma, then you have to create not only what you want to do, comma, but you have to create the environment to do it in, comma, which is double hard, period, unquote. Did Mr. Dillon say those words?
Yes.
You then continue without quotes. The other reason for the others is inevitable, colon. He didn't, that's D-I-D-N apostrophe T, as in did not. He didn't have enough material of his own for an album, period, period. Did Mr. Dillon say those words?
I went back in the transcript and I was paraphrasing him, and that's not entirely accurate. He said he didn't have enough songs that he wanted to put on an album.
You state at the top of the page, or at least it appears to that you state, my job here is to pass along information to Bob. Do you recall saying that, sir? Looking
Yes.
at the top. Okay. And Bob, of course, is Bob Dylan.
Yes.
And then you say, which I think I have. Do you see that, sir?
Yes.
Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. When you said that to Mr. Damiano, which I think I have, were you lying to him?
I was misstating the truth.
Did you say those things?
Did I say those things to Mr. Damiano?
Yes.
Yes.
And when you say I checked my notes, were you lying?
I was not speaking the truth, correct. Under the subject of mistruths spoken to your client, during the course of these telephone conversations, he would frequently ask me to pass along information, ask questions about Bob, or to Bob about him.
There's a kind of a melodic character to this arc, more than just a set of shared pitches. What I will be doing shortly is I'll be leading you through an analysis, allowing you to hear how steel guitars actually projects this exact same arc as Dignity.
Not many times, but on those occasions when he would ask me, could I pass on something to Mr. Dillon, I may have said to him, I'll try and pass it along, or words to that effect.
My job here is to pass along information to Bob. Do you recall saying that, sir? Looking
Yes.
at the top. Okay. And Bob, of course, is Bob Dylan.
Yes.
And then you say, which I think I have. Do you see that, sir?
Yes.
Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. When you said that to Mr. Damiano,
Good, we're on the record. My name is Mark Brady. I represent Dole Reporting, located at 369 Lexington Avenue, New York, New York. I will be the videographer for today. Today's date is 6/6/96. And this is a case of James Damiano versus Sony Music Entertainment Incorporated and Bob Dylan. And the case number is 95-4795. We're here at the offices of Parcher and Hayes, located at 500 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York. And this is a deposition of Tony Tiller. This time, counsel will identify themselves.
Stephen Kramer for the plaintiff.
Orange Snyder and Ruth Lott for Sony Music Entertainment, Inc. and Bob Dylan.
At this time, I have the court reporter swearing the witness.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear in the testimony you are about to give that you will tell the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Tiller, good morning. You are employed by whom, sir?
Sony Music.
And how long have you been employed by Sony Music?
For 9 years on staff, 10 years if you count approximately a year and 2 months as temp / per diem.
Did you ever have in your office any compilations of any sort of Mr. Damiano's songs that you kept on your bookshelf?
When you say compilation, what?
Folder, binder, book, tablet.
Printed
material, anything.
Printed material, yes.
Okay, and draw, if you would, so I can picture it, and the jury can picture it, a verbal picture of your office, and then after you do that, where the material rested.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, so the record's clear. Are we talking about, because you may have had more than one office over the course of the years, so you might want to...
Sure, if you had more than one office, take me through it.
Okay, when I first started as a temp, I moved from office to office to cover for people who were on vacation. So
Okay, just to speed it up a touch, perhaps. If you would, Mr. Tiller, limit yourself to the offices in which these materials were ever located.
Okay, my first office, I had, the door would be, say, in that corner. Over here, I had 2 file cabinets, a table, a small table to my left attached to my desk, an art desk in that corner, a bookcase right next to that, and next to that a file cabinet.
Okay, thank you.
The book that Jim had given me would be on that bookcase.
To your right.
To my right.
Okay. And what year did you receive that book initially?
I don't recall.
Okay. And what did it have in it?
It had a bunch of songs, or a bunch of, I guess, well, he called them songs, so I called them songs, but they were words written in verse form.
Was it in a binder, a folder?
It was in a binder.
Like a 3-ring binder?
3-ring binder.
And where is that today?
I do not know.
When was the last time you saw it?
When we were in the CBS building at 52 West 52nd Street.
And you're telling us and the jury you don't know what happened to them, those materials of songs or words?
No, I do not.
Just disappeared? Well,
when we moved from that building approximately 4 or 5 years ago, as I explained to Jim, we were to pack our own desks. We were pressed to work until the day we moved, pretty much. And the movers came in and packed everything else. There were things that were left behind.
And so could you pinpoint, Mr. Tiller, what year Mr. Damiano's book of songs or words disappeared from your office?
You did not say disappeared. You're mischaracterizing his testimony. You did not say they disappeared.
So
well, if you mischaracterize the testimony...
Oh, that's an exception to our stipulation? So that means during Mr. Mintz's deposition, every time you talked about spring cleaning and everything else...
No, you just characterized this man's testimony.
Wait, what were you doing during Mr. Mintz's deposition? You can't object. That's our rule, our agreement. You don't object. Isn't it? Or isn't it?
That the agreement is that There's no need to object to form.
Right,
Those
and you're objecting
are
to the form because you're
preserved.
saying something
But
is
if-
in the question that you don't agree with.
But if you're doing it to take advantage of a witness, I think I have a right to object. If you're saying disappeared when the man said that's not what happened,
Well, then what is the purpose of our stipulation? Is
so
it
that
just
you don't have
one-sided?
to. No. So that if you ask a leading question, if you ask a question that is compound, and don't object, you don't then waive your right at trial to object to the question on grounds of on form. I think that what we've been doing is you've told me that I've mischaracterized witnesses' testimony, and that's all. And I just don't think it's right. That's all.
So exactly what is our stipulation? I want to know what it is. I thought our stipulation was everything is reserved except privileged questions.
Correct.
Okay, and you agree with that?
Definitely. We don't want anyone if there's ever a trial of this matter, we don't want anyone to be unable to raise an objection to a question on a ground other than privilege because they didn't raise it at the deposition. That's our stipulation. Correct. But if I if you perceive me to be harassing your client and do something that's unfair to your client, you'll speak up, which you did when I was deposing Mrs. Damiano, Mr. Damiano on a variety of occasions, having nothing to do with form. You interjected to correct me or to ask me to restate it, and that's all I'm doing here.
Did Mr. Damiano's songs, Mr. Tiller, disappear?
Could I have you rephrase that?
Sure. What happened to his songs that had been on your shelf for how long?
1.5, possibly 2 years.
Okay. The songs or that binder without that binder disappeared, did it not?
They were left in the building when we moved.
And did you ever go back to retrieve it or to ask where it was?
No, I did not. There were...
And is that building still owned by CBS?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And that's CBS's headquarters, yes?
Yes.
The whole building?
I don't know if the whole building is their headquarters.
Have you ever heard of...
CBS is located there.
And where was your office? What floor?
On the 10th floor.
Okay. And did you ever... So it would have been very easy for you, if it had been left, as you say, to simply walk over there and get it, right? If it were still there.
If it were still there.
Right, but you never did that.
No, I did not.
And all we know now, and all the jury knows now, is that you don't have it, correct?
That is correct.
And Sony does not have it, to your knowledge.
Sony does not have it.
Right. And if we went to your office today, where your office used to be on 52nd Street, at CBS's headquarters, can you tell me and the jury whether that binder would still be there?
You mean the original office?
Yeah.
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Have you ever been back to that office?
No, I haven't.
Okay, do you know who occupies that office?
Well, I understand from what other people have mentioned that the floors that we were formerly on were leased to a law firm.
I believe Wachtell, Lipton, Rosen, and Katz is on that floor, if I am correct.
Well, I'd like, Mr. Snyder, for you to inquire of your client if that binder still exists.
If that you want me to ask my client whether when Sony vacated the CBS building 4 or 5 years ago or 3 years ago and left debris and papers, whether that debris and paper is still on the 10th floor, which Mr. Tiller just said he understood has been leased to a law firm.
No. No. Am I not speaking loudly enough for you? I said I want you to ask your client if they still have that binder, or if that binder is still at 51 West 52nd Street, in or near the office that Mr. Tiller occupied, and if not, who the current occupant of that office is, so I can depose that person and find out if there were things left behind or not?
All documents responsive to document requests have been produced. If Sony had in its possession, or Mr. Tiller had in his possession, any written material that your client provided to Mr. Tiller, that would have been produced on March, whatever the date was it was due. No such documents exist. As to what's at 51 West 52nd Street, I'll inquire of my client whether Sony has any. My understanding is that Sony has nothing to do with that building anymore. Maybe Mr. Tiller knows. My understanding is that Sony has nothing to do with that building anymore. So in terms of me going to find out what's on the 10th floor, I suppose you can go to the directory and look as well as I can. Let's ask Mr. Tiller whether Sony has any business there. I don't think they do.
Mr. Tiller, what floor was your office on, sir?
The 10th floor.
Were you missing anything else?
They were supposed to bring my chair, but that was left behind.
Were you missing any other documents or files?
Well, some of my personal books were missing.
Did you go back for them?
No, I did not know they were missing until I unpacked.
Did you inquire of anybody? Like, where's my personal books?
No, I didn't. There were 2 or 3 of them.
Why, could you tell the jury why you didn't inquire as to where these materials that disappeared or were lost, misplaced, but don't exist today, why you never inquired as to where they were?
I'm sorry?
Okay. When you got to your office and you unpacked, and you discovered that certain materials weren't there that had been in your old office, why you didn't inquire of the moving company or of anybody? Hey, where's my stuff?
Because it wasn't that terribly important to me. I mean, the books which I missed, I felt I could get again.
What was it that you missed?
There was a book of poetry.
By whom?
Emily Dickinson, which I have since replaced, and 2 science fiction books, which I have not.
Did you ever tell Mr. Damiano that his materials had been lost or left behind or disappeared?
Yes, I did.
And what did he say?
I can't recall exactly what he said. But I did tell him I was sorry.
Counsel, this is the second witness in a row, literally, who received materials from the plaintiff comprising one or more of his songs where the materials have disappeared, whether you want to use the word disappeared, lost, destroyed, evaporated, whatever phrase you want to use. And I want the record to note that this is the second witness in a row. Mr. Mintz testified that he destroyed Mr. Damiano's faxed materials. And no, not only did he destroy them, he went further. He said he shredded them.
Mm-hmm.
And now Mr. Tiller is saying that the binder of materials of songs that Mr. Tiller received got lost, disappeared, don't exist. And I want that to be clear that that has occurred.
Let me now respond, sir.
Sure.
Your insinuation.
No insinuation, it's a statement of fact.
Yes, the facts speak for themselves, and your statement on the record to that effect is an insinuation. So
Is there
I will now
anything that I
respond.
stated that was inaccurate?
There is no need for you to characterize the facts and the sequence of the facts as you perceive them. The facts speak for themselves. You insinuated something, and now I'm going to respond, because your insinuation is that Mr. Tiller has done something wrong or untoward. The fact of the matter is, this witness has testified that when he moved in 1991 or 90, whenever the heck it was, you didn't establish what the year was, but it was long before your client concocted this bogus lawsuit, and certainly well before anyone knew that he was concocting these claims, that Mr. Tiller, when he moved his office, had certain materials that weren't important to him left behind, including your client's, quote, songs, close quote. The insinuation that somehow those have disappeared or evaporated or been destroyed in an improper, inappropriate manner is reprehensible. And what you're doing sitting here is you're accusing this man, Mr. Tiller, indirectly of doing something wrong in destroying or somehow obstructing something. When in fact, this man told you that, like his Emily Dickinson book, and like his 2 science fiction books, your client's lyrical material was left behind. As we all know, when offices are moved from one building to another, boxes are left behind, papers are left behind. That's what this man said. It's innocent, it's understandable, and in any event, it predates your client's concoction of his claims. So to suggest in any way that that's improper is insulting to this man, and it's insulting to the entire process, and it's ludicrous. Second, Mr. Mintz said during his testimony that, again, years after he had spoken to your client, before your client ever filed the lawsuit, he got rid of a number of documents, including blank pages that your client had sent him. Mr. Mintz, who testified that he was dealing with your client because your client was someone who he perceived to be delusional and was dealing with him and handling him in that manner. To suggest that anything improper happened with Mr. Tiller and his Emily Dickinson book, or Mr. Tiller and those materials that your client gave him, is really unfair to do to this man. It is unfair, even in the zeal of your advocacy, it is unfair, and I find it highly insulting. Now, since we're on the topic of the destruction of documents, since we're on the topic of withholding documents, why don't you address the fact, sir, and have your client address the fact, sir, that the late documents that your client produced to us, which you'll see when we file our motion to dismiss this action, the late clients that your client took 3 months to find and then produced, wait until you read those documents, because I don't think you have. Why don't you read them? And when you read them, you will be shocked to see what is in those documents that he produced late. If you want to see about obstructing and why he didn't turn those over until 2 or 3 weeks ago, read the lyrics that your client just turned over to us, and you will be shocked to see what is in them. And I am finished. And if you want to accuse this man of doing something improper with your client's lyrics, he is here, and do it now. In front of the camera, on the transcript, for the judge and jury to see. Not in an insinuation. Do it now. Accuse this man right now of doing something improper with documents. Do it now, and I want to give this man an opportunity to respond, because by doing it in the underhanded way you just did it is despicable. Give this man the opportunity to respond to your charge that he has done something improper with your client's lyrics. Do that, Mr. Kramer.
All right,
do that. Give him the opportunity, and I am done. And yes, I am angry. Because yes, I'm angry.
Are you sure you're done?
I am done. Give this man the opportunity to respond to your charge that he has done something with those documents improper. Why don't you do that, Mr. Kramer?
Let me know when you're done.
I am
You said
done.
you were done 30 seconds ago, and then you keep
I am done.
noises keep coming out of your mouth.
I am done. We're not in the sandbox.
Sure?
We're not in the sandbox. We're not in the schoolyard.
Sure?
We're not in the sandbox
Tell
or the
me
schoolyard.
when you're done. Tell me when you're done.
I do have a sense of integrity about the process and about the profession. And for you to make that, even in the zeal of your advocacy, I don't care if your case is self-destructing or what it is improper. If you want to make an accusation about this man destroying documents, don't make it in a speech to me about noting for the record. Ask this man if he destroyed documents for some nefarious reason, and let him tell you why he got rid of those documents. I'm finished.
You said you were finished 60 seconds ago, and you kept talking. Can I be sure you're finished? You sure?
I'm finished.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. There's a very good incident of acting, Mr. Snyder, which perhaps impresses some audiences.
I'm not acting. I'm actually, my hand is trembling. I'm so angry.
Is it trembling?
It is.
Good. But the facts are what they are, that key documents no longer exist.
Yes, your client knows well about key documents not existing.
For the fourth time, you said you were finished, Bill. I'll pause and ask you to be sure to tell me when you're sincerely and truly finished. Can you tell me yes to that?
I'm finished.
I think 91.
Who was president?
I'm sorry?
At the time you moved, who was president of the United States? That sometimes helps to remember.
I think the president was one who wasn't really worthy of remembering at the time, so it might be.
Well, could we? That's...
It
depends on one's perspective, I suppose.
It doesn't help me.
You don't remember who the president was?
Well, I remember who the president was in 1991.
Okay, so you don't remember who the president was when you moved?
Well, it wasn't George Clinton, Bill Clinton.
Okay, so since he took office...
January 20th, 1993.
Does that help you in any...
And it wasn't Bill Clinton.
Okay, does that refresh your recollection that you moved in December of 91 or December of 92?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
George Bush was elected in 88. And that's a 4-year period.
And your testimony is you only had the book of songs for a year and a half or 2 years, and you're sure of that?
I'm very sure.
Okay. Did you ever give any gifts to Mr. Damiano, tokens of appreciation, anything?
Tokens of appreciation?
Or gifts, anything that you can think of?
None that I can recall, but if I did it as a friend to a friend, because I considered Jim a very good friend. And I occasionally give my friends things as my friends give me things.
Okay. And do you recall, let me try to refresh your recollection, if I may.
Yes.
Do you recall ever giving him something and saying, this is for inspiration?
No.
Okay. Let's go back to the Jones Beach concert, if we may, to the time when you offered the tickets to Mr. Damiano before the concert actually took place. Okay? During that point in time when you offered the tickets to him and before he actually went to the concert, did you ever say to him or suggest to him that maybe he should bring some of his songs with him?
No, I did not.
Right. Do you deny saying that, or is it you just don't recall one way or the other?
I deny suggesting to Jim that he bring songs along with him. I did, however, concur with him when he asked me, do you think I should bring my songs with me? I said, sure, why not? What could it hurt?
How many times was Mr. Damiano at your home, sir?
Twice that I can recall.
And what years did that occur?
The first time was 8 years ago, on the occasion of a birthday party. Jim and I were friends. and I thought good friends. So I invited him to my birthday party. He was there with his wife, and there were several other people present. The second time, he, his wife, and son met me after work, and I just remember we went to dinner. I don't recall where, but we wound up around the fountain at Lincoln Center. He offered to drive me home, which they did. I invited them up, and we sat around and talked for a bit.
And when was that, sir? What year?
I don't know what year that was. It was after the birthday party.
Talk about the Jones Beach concert. You're aware of the allegation made concerning the July 1, 1988 Jones Beach concert?
Would you tell me exactly what those allegations are?
Okay. Well, in preparing for this deposition today, have you given any thought to that concert?
I have been forced to give a great deal of thought to that concert.
Okay. And when you say you've been forced to give a great deal of thought to that concert, what do you mean by you were forced to?
By the circumstances surrounding this case. To the best of my knowledge, and I presume my knowledge is the best there is in this particular instance, I simply offered a friend 2 tickets to a concert that I knew he would enjoy.
Sorry.
Can you read back that last answer?
Answer: by the circumstances surrounding this case, to the best of my knowledge, and I presume my knowledge is the best there is in this particular circumstance, I simply offered a friend 2 tickets to a concert that I knew he would enjoy.
Thank you.
Why do you describe your recollection as the best recollection, sir?
Because I gave Jim the tickets. I know what my intentions were, which were that he should see an artist that he was very fond of in concert, and then I happened to have 2 tickets.
Did he tell you that he went to the concert?
Yes, he did.
Did he tell you that he went backstage?
Yes, he did.
Did he tell you of what his experience was when he went backstage?
Yes, he did, and I expressed some surprise that he even got backstage.
Wait. You may want to say something, Mr. Tiller, and you have learned counsel on the other side that will afford you that opportunity if you feel you need it. But I would appreciate it, and this will go a lot quicker, if you just restrict your answers to my questions, sir. If I could ask you to do that.
Sure.
And when he described what happened backstage, was this on the telephone?
Yes.
Was it relatively soon after the concert?
Yes.
Okay. And how would you describe, strike that, do you have a pretty distinct recollection of that conversation?
I have a recollection of the conversation.
Okay.
Because, if I may
Sure.
explain, I was very surprised.
Okay. What was his tone of voice, if you can recall, when he was explaining to you that he had gotten backstage to the Jones Beach Dylan concert, July 188?
His tone of voice?
Yeah, was he excited? Was he sad? Was he unemotional? How would you describe it? Or do you not recall?
I don't recall his exact tone of voice. I don't recall his tone of voice, I think, at all. My presumption would be based on what he has told me.
Okay.
That.
So you don't recall what his tone of voice was? That's all I'm getting at.
Okay.
Okay. And did you, at the time he was telling you, did you think he was lying to you when he said he went backstage? Do you recall, in other words, when he said it, do you have a recollection of, do you have a recollection of thinking in your mind, he's lying to me?
I had doubts, but I could not see any reason why my friend should lie to me.
Okay. And recreate, if you would, sir, as best you can, that conversation for the jury. You're in your office, I take it?
Yes.
It's during working hours, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. Morning, afternoon, evening?
I had no window, so I can't picture the time of day. If I can take a few moments.
Oh, sure, please, please.
If I can recall, and this will only be very general. He called and said, "Aunt." I went backstage and I gave my stuff to Dylan. I said, "Oh, that's great." Or, to the best of my recollection, I said, "Oh, that's great. How'd you do that?" Well, I just walked on through. I went, I hung around out back, and people started coming out of the door. And then I went over to this bus. Dylan was on the bus. As somebody came off the bus and took my book, and Dylan waved at me from the bus. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I guess Jim was there. I wasn't. He wouldn't have a reason to lie to me.
And what did you say in response?
Believing what Jim told me, I said, "Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations."
And was that the extent of the conversation that you recall?
Yes, I do think I spent more time wondering.
Well, I'm just asking you, is that the extent of the conversation between you and he?
Pretty much.
Okay. Yeah.
Although the bit that I described was much longer as Jim went into more detail than I can recall to give you here.
Okay. Have you exhausted your recollection now?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to another concert now. Do you recall a concert in Waterloo Village in New Jersey in September or October of '88?
No, I do not.
Okay. You have no recollection of that one way or the other?
Jim may have mentioned that he went to a concert in Waterloo Village, but I don't know where Waterloo Village is.
Tell me why you expressed surprise to him that he had gotten backstage at the Jones Beach July 188 concert.
Because from what I heard of backstage, I had never been backstage myself, and I would not have any way of getting backstage. I was rather surprised that he, as he described it, could just, if you will, waltz right backstage.
Waltz?
Waltz.
Like, as in Matilda.
Did you express that feeling to him during that conversation?
No, I didn't. Although I did say, how did you do that?
Okay. And what did he say?
Well, he said, I walked back and walked through the gate, and he was apparently then backstage.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even know Jones Beach had it backstage.
Did he say that he was with anyone when he went backstage?
No, he did not. Although, if I might add, in subsequent conversations through the years, it did change.
How so?
Became more embellished, if you will.
How so?
Well, at one point, I can't give you any particular dates or exact orders, but at one point he walked up and handed his book to a bus driver. At another point he went and handed his book to Dylan directly. And another point, and that was the one where he told me that Dylan came off the bus to get the book from him.
Is it this? Are you talking about the same concert, the Jones Beach concert?
Yes. The one that I have knowledge of from having given him the tickets.
Okay. So he did mention to you that he had given songs to a bus driver backstage.
He had mentioned that he had given, that was one of the permutations of this story.
And are you aware that a witness has testified in this case that he was present when the bus driver took those songs?
No, I'm not aware.
And that it was not at Jones Beach, but at Waterloo? another concert in New Jersey that Mr. Dillon
I'm
had.
not aware of that.
Tell me what you've done to prepare for this deposition today, sir, if you would.
Oh, pardon me one moment. Am I allowed to?
Oh yeah, you can tell. You don't not what we discussed, but you can how many meetings, who you met, who generally you met with.
No, I've spent time here with RN discussing the case.
How much time? And how many occasions?
Twice.
When?
Wednesday.
Yesterday? Today's Thursday.
All right. Tuesday. Tuesday for about 5 hours, not counting interruptions, of which I recall there were many. Nor yesterday.
Nor?
And yesterday, when we met from approximately 1:30 and spent about 6.5 hours together. Also not counting interruptions, times that he had to go away for meetings. I felt lonely.
So of the 6.5 hours, how much of that 6.5 hours was spent preparing for the deposition, as opposed to waiting for Mr. Snyder to return?
That would be very hard to say.
Well, it was yesterday, so do your best.
I would say approximately 3.5 to 4 hours.
Okay, and the meeting last week, was it? The first meeting was last week?
No, the first meeting was this past Tuesday.
And how long was that, in which you actually met with Mr. Snyder as opposed to waiting for him to return?
I arrived at 11:30, waited about half an hour, 45 minutes. I'd say about 3 hours.
Okay, so in the past 3 days, you have spent, in terms of meetings with counsel in preparing for this deposition, a total of approximately 7 hours. Would that be fair?
6 to 7 discussing the case.
Did he show you any documents?
Explain.
Did he show you any documents?
Can
I don't
you
know how else to say.
clarify what kind of documents?
Did he show you any pieces of paper, letters, songs, anything, any type of document?
Just the things that appeared in Jim's book, including Jim's transcriptions of our conversations, which I insisted on listening to.
Any other document?
We watched the videotape of that person,
Mr. Marhumi. Anything else?
No.
Did you take any notes?
I started to take notes, but then stopped.
And how many notes did you take before you stopped?
I had 2 handwritten lines.
And what did you do with those 2 handwritten lines?
Oh, they're in my notebook.
And where is that notebook?
At my home.
And those two lines represent some thoughts that you had?
They represented refutations of what Jim had written.
Okay, I'd like a copy of this. Before we resume, Mr. Deposition.
Before we resume deposition? You're going to stop the deposition now?
As I told you, I have to stop at 2 o'clock, or 1:45.
Right.
And I'm not going to finish today, so.
We might as well.
Before we resume his deposition, I'd like copies.
Sure.
Okay.
So if you want to send me that, and I'll take it under advisement. I just need to take a bathroom break.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is the videographer off the record this time, 1:01 p.m. This is the videographer. We're back on the record this time, 1:07 p.m.
Mr. Tiller, I'm not sure if I asked you this already. How long did you have Mr. Damiano's book of songs in your possession?
You did ask me that, and I replied that I had them for 1.5, 2 years.
And that was from when to when?
Until we moved. I don't recall the exact year that we moved.
Approximately.
We moved in December. Perhaps 91, 92.
Have you ever met a gentleman by the name of Mr. Marhomi?
Not that I recall. I do not remember ever meeting anyone named Marhomi.
Okay. Do you remember meeting anyone in or around the CBS building with Mr. Damiano?
I remember meeting Jim, Jim's wife Pam, and Jim's son Jesse.
Do you deny ever meeting anyone with Jim who was described to you as a potential investor? Do you deny that? Or is your testimony you just don't recall one way or the other?
I think I will have to deny that.
Okay, and I take it you're aware that Mr. Marhomi has testified in this litigation?
I am aware.
And someone showed you his testimony, either videotape or on transcript form?
Yes.
Okay. And you read the portion that I'm referring to where he says that he was very concerned about investing $10,000 or approximately $10,000 and wanted an assurance from someone.
I read this where?
In his transcript.
I did not read his transcript.
Did you see his videotape?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do you recall him testifying that he met you? He described you to a T. Now that I'm looking at you. Do you recall that?
I recall that in his videotape, yes.
Okay, do you recall him describing the person that he met, who he said was you?
Yes,
Physical description, in other words.
I do remember that, yes.
Okay. And do you take issue with his physical description of you?
Well, it was very flattering.
Okay. All right, that aside, and your modesty aside, is there anything?
There was an end.
He described me as wearing a suit.
Can't think of better songwriters than the Gershwins.
I had a reference book for the Gershwins. I think that was it.
And how long had you kept that binder of songs of Mr. Damiano's in your office, sir?
until we moved from Black Rock. I'd say 1.5, 2 years.
How many times was Mr. Damiano at your home, sir?
Twice that I can recall.
And what years did that occur?
The first time was 8 years ago, on the occasion of a birthday party. Jim and I were friends, and I thought good friends, so I invited him to my birthday party. He was there with his wife, and there were several other people present. The second time, he, his wife, and son met me after work, and I just remember we went to dinner. I don't recall where, but we wound up around the fountain at Lincoln Center. He offered to drive me home, which they did. I invited them up, and we sat around and talked for a bit.
And when was that, sir? What year?
I don't know what year that was. It was after the birthday.
So, is it accurate to state that sitting here today, your entire income is derived from working for the defendant, Sony Music Entertainment?
Yes.
And in the past year, have you been offered any jobs by any other company?
No.
Have you, other than Legacy, have you attempted to secure any employment elsewhere?
No, I'm very happy where I am.
And you want to stay there, I take it?
Well, I want to stay where I'm happy.
And you're happy at Sony and you want to stay at Sony? Yes?
Yes.
Your testimony is, Mr. Tiller, with regard to any other concert that Mr. Dillon appeared at, you played no role whatsoever in providing tickets for Mr. Damiano, other than the Jones Beach concert. Is that correct?
I did not. That is correct.
So you would deny ever having any phone conversation with Mr. Damiano on that subject?
About the concert, or
about providing tickets for him?
About providing tickets, yes, I would.
Okay. Where did you get the 2 tickets that you offered to Mr. Damiano, sir?
At the time, the company offered departments tickets to various concerts at which our artists were performing.
The company being?
Sony Music.
Sony.
As sort of a perk for the employees. I got these 2 tickets, and I offered them to Jim, knowing that Jim enjoyed Bob Dylan very much.
During the time that you were friends with Mr. Damiano, did you ever state to him in words or substance that you enjoyed his song writing?
As a friend, yes.
Now,
I'm sorry, may I?
Yes.
As a friend, I try to be as supportive of my friends' dreams and aspirations as possible.
Okay. Mr. Tiller?
Yes.
That's probably the fourth or fifth time you've used the phrase "as a friend," and I've purposely couched my questions so that they could be answered yes or no. And each time I've done that, you've not done it. You've answered the question, but you've preceded it with the phrase "as a friend." Okay, and you may feel like you have to say that, or that you feel it's important to say that, but if you could just try to focus on my question, you'll have every opportunity, I'm sure, from your skilled counsel to bring out whatever you and he want to bring out.
I will try, but if I can just say one thing, that my relationship with Jim was a friend. Jim and I considered Jim a very good friend. For my friends, I do whatever I can.
Are you aware of a reason that you could share with me that the person whose videotape you observed, Mr. Marhomi, would testify that he went to CBS headquarters on 52nd Street here in Manhattan, that you came down, had a conversation with him on the subject of Mr. Damiano's songs or recording? If that in fact did not occur, in other words, can you think of a reason why Mr. Marhomi would testify falsely?
Am I allowed to voice my own?
He's asking you, do you have any opinion at all, right? That you want about what any reason that he would testify falsely about
that he would come to New York under subpoena, swear under oath, describe you perhaps flatteringly but accurately as the person he met, and now that I see you, and that he'd be lying.
Because he might see this as a way of getting whatever investment he put in back, perhaps.
Yeah, anything else?
Because he might have been told a different version of things than perhaps might have happened.
Anything else?
Well, I have speculated in my own mind that Jim may have told him that they were going to meet a big executive at CBS Records, while calling me and telling me that he was going to bring a friend over and we could go out for drinks.
Did you go out for drinks with anyone who looked like the person you saw on that videotape?
I don't recall meeting anyone who looks like that.
Okay, Warren,
You have to be in court.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
No,
gotta
you shouldn't be
scoot.
late.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, so just give me a convenient time for Mr. Tiller.
Okay,
He's
well,
local, so it shouldn't be too much
no
of a problem. Okay.
I'm sorry,
thank
my
you.
cigarette took time.
Oh, that's all right.
No, okay.
Don't worry about that.
It's the video operator defends our deposition for today, June 6, 1996. We're off the record at this time, 1:38 p.m.
Can I find out from you on
Yes.
when I will be getting Mr. Murphy's... Any other positions? Oh, forgive me. And do you also describe your position as of 91, which I think you said was an associate director?
Yes.
Do you also describe that on your resume?
Yes, I do.
And would you tell me what it says there?
That I administer packaging managers handling frontline reissue singles for Columbian Epic, and they also handle national product. I also speak of the photo library. Since 3 years ago, the photo librarian was tapped to report to me and what we've been doing in the photo library.
Let's go back to the Jones Beach concert, if we may, to the time when you offered the tickets to Mr. Damiano before the concert actually took place. Okay. During that point in time when you offered the tickets to him and before he actually went to the concert, did you ever say to him or suggest to him that maybe he should bring some of his songs with him?
No, I did not.
Any? Right. Do you deny saying that, or is it you just don't recall one way or the other?
I deny suggesting to Jim that he bring songs along with him. I did, however, concur with him when he asked me, do you think I should bring my songs with me? I said, sure, why not? What could it hurt?
Are those the words you use? Sure, why not? What could it hurt? Mr. Tiller?
Probably.
Are those the words you use? Sure, why not? What could it hurt? Mr. Tiller?
Probably.
Okay, see, I want to...
I did not bring the subject up.
Okay, let me say something, if I may. The record's going to reflect that you said, in response to one of my questions, that you said to him, when he asked you, should he bring some songs, that you said, sure, why not, what would it hurt? And then I asked you, did you use those words? So, and then your answer, what was his answer when I said, did you use those words?
Answer probably.
Okay. Did you say to him, sure, why not, what would it hurt?
To the best of my recollection.
During this conversation that you had with him before the concert, which you offered him the tickets, did he mention to you that he did not know where Jones Beach was?
I just want to give you something. Thanks. Okay.
Not to my recollection.
Did he mention to you, do you have any recollection, Mr. Tiller, of him saying to you that he had to get up early the next morning to go to work and that Jones Beach was about a 2-hour drive for him each way?
I do not remember. Jim spoke often of work that he was doing. He might have.
Okay. Do you remember him saying that if he was going to make such a long trip, he wanted some assurance that he'd have a chance to give the songs to Dylan's organization, or else it wasn't worth it for him on a work day or a work evening where he had to get up the next day for him to go drive 4 or 5 hours just to see a concert?
Would you repeat the beginning of that question?
Sure.
I'm not sure exactly what I'm...
Do you recall him saying that he wanted some assurance from you that he would have a shot or a chance to give his songs to someone with Dylan's organization?
And you're asking if I remember giving him this assurance?
No, wait. Maybe I'm not being clear. Let me try it again.
You're not.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Do you recall him saying to you, Mr. Damiano saying to Mr. Tiller, that because the trip was so long for him, where he lived, that he didn't want to make such a long trip just to see a concert unless he also was going to have an opportunity to give his songs to Dylan's organization? Do you recall him expressing that thought to you?
I do not recall his expressing that thought to me.
Okay, is your recollection such that you can deny that he said that to you, or is your recollection you just don't recall one way or the other?
I don't recall one way or another. However, and if I might,
Yeah, go ahead.
Continue. If he did, then I would have told him, Jim, I can't give you any assurances of anything simply because I don't have that kind of authority. I don't have that kind of power.
Would it be fair? I'm sorry. You finished?
I had only... the concert was in 87 or 88.
July 1, 88.
It was in 88.
July 1.
I had been on staff for 1 year as a packaging manager, a position which did not afford any great vestiges of power or authority.
When did you...
You mind taking a 1 minute break?
Sure.
This to be off the record this time, 1:17.
Sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Back on the record this time, 1:25 p.m.
Is your testimony, Mr. Tiller, again focusing on the time right before the July 1 concert, that...
It is. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Is your testimony that you have no recollection of any conversation with Mr. Damiano in which he voiced a concern about the distance in which he was going to have to travel to get to the concert and the fact that he had to get up early to go to work the next day?
No, I don't.
When was it that you engaged in this investment for Derwin to finance a demo tape? What year was that, sir?
Late 1988, 89, or late 90, late 89, 90.
And your testimony is, other than that one venture, you've never engaged in any entertainment investments or entertainment ventures of any sort apart from your employment at Sony and apart from your employment at CBS?
Except for one other thing where I the company has a policy that if that they're very open to listening to things. A friend of mine worked at the Cameron McIntosh organization.
At the, I'm sorry?
Cameron McIntosh organization. She invited me down to see previews of a musical they were doing. And I thought it was great. And so I suggested to one of our producers who I knew that he might want to catch it, that he might want to see it. He saw it, he liked it, and the company recorded it.
And did you have any financial participation in any way?
I did not put any money into it, but the company did give me a finder's fee.
Of how much?
Well, the finder's fee was $3,000 minus taxes, $1,600, which I gave my friend Eileen half.
And have you ever seen a written policy that covers that type of event?
Which type of event?
Where they would pay a finder's fee to someone who brings a business opportunity to their attention that bears fruit?
Yes, I think the company does have a written policy.
And was there such a policy or anything analogous to it at CBS?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. I'd like a copy, Mr. Snyder, of that policy. Could I have a separate page whenever I ask for a document, just so I can have it on one page? Yeah.
No problem.
Thanks. I think there was another couple other documents.
There's an index in that.
I think he wants, so far he's asked for the resume, he's asked for the 2 lines in the notebook, and now the Sony written policy.
And if, you probably already do this, but you'll put the page in which the request was made. Perfecto. Thank you. Do you actually describe the document when you do that?
I don't think so. It just tells you where to go.
Where to go? Okay. All right.